Hi guys, it's Marianne Berry over here with Realign, and today we are going to cover week 3 out of my 4-week program with shoulder disparities and shoulder misalignments. So shoulders can be out of alignment in many different ways. One way this can look is with an elevated shoulder. One shoulder can sit higher than the other. We can also see rotation of the shoulder girdle, where one side is twisted in front of the other. And then we can also see from the back where one scapula is winged off the back. Sometimes it can be both. So here we can see that winged scapula in this picture. Now we're going to do 3 assessments so that you can actually get a sense of where you're at and how your shoulders are before I take you through the 3 shoulder exercises for this week. I want you to start off by having a look in the mirror, and I want you to actually look at the position of your hands. So I want you to notice if you can see the backs of your hands, or if you can see your thumb and your forefinger. If you can see the backs of your hands, it's going to look like this. I call it a gorilla arms. If you can see the backs of your hands, what that means is that your shoulder joint is rotated forward. That's an internally rotated shoulder joint. Now, if you can see your thumb and your forefinger, what that means is that your shoulder is actually in a better position. So your shoulders are back, a little bit more open, so we can actually see that thumb and forefinger. The next thing that I want you to look at is the tips of your fingers, and I want you to look to see if your fingers are higher on one side than the other. Sometimes it can be hard to spot an elevated shoulder on yourself. So one little trick I like to use to tell whether or not somebody's shoulders are off kilter is I will actually look at their fingertips, and it's pretty easy to see if on one hand the fingers are a little bit lower than on the other hand. Now the third assessment that I want you to do is actually a balance test. I want you to close your eyes and pay attention to the weight distribution in your feet. So go ahead, give it a try. Be sure to kick off your shoes for this one. And notice if you have more weight in one foot or the other. I also want you to notice if you have more weight in the balls of your feet or your heels. And also, I want you to pay attention to if you have more weight on the inner edges of your feet or the outer edges of your feet. Now we're going to retest those 3 things after we finish these 3 shoulder exercises. We're going to start off with standing overhead extension. I want you to stand all the way back so that your heels are touching a wall. You want your feet straight. I know you can't see my feet, but I have my feet straight. They're hip width apart. I want you to interlace your fingers and bring your arms up overhead. Standing overhead extension. Breathe. Hang out here for 1 minute. So what are we doing here in standing overhead extension? Well, we're definitely opening up that whole rib cage. We're asking the thoracic back to extend. And we're actually challenging muscles, posture muscles, from your feet all the way up your body to your hands. For the next exercise called standing elbow curls, I want you to start by making a golfer's grip with your hands. The golfer's grip looks like this. I have my palms open with my fingers curled right at that second knuckle, and my thumbs are sticking straight out like this. We are going to use the golfer's grip for the next 2 exercises, and it's important that you have your fingers really tight and your palm open. So what we don't want to see is this. Instead, you're going to bring your hand to this position, which is critical because it actually locks out your wrist joint and totally changes the entire exercise if you have the proper hand positioning. So let's get into standing elbow curls. Again, I want you all the way back against a wall with your heels touching the wall. And I want you to place your knuckles at your temple behind your eyeball. So use that big knuckle to find that little soft spot. You'll find it right behind your eyeball. Once you get into that position, I want you to bring your elbows together in front of your face and apart so that they touch the wall. For standing elbow curls, I want you to notice if you feel anything different from left to right, which you probably will. And I want you just to do these until you start to feel more balanced. This is going to take anywhere from about 15 to 30 repetitions. You're going to want to step away from the wall, and we're going to get back into that same golfer's grip position. Check your feet. Make sure that your feet are straight and right in line with your hips. This time we're going to bring our arms straight out to the sides with your elbows locked out straight and your shoulder blades pinned together in the back. Be sure to keep those fingers really tight, and we're going to circle forward 40 times. I want you to keep your stomach relaxed. And we're just going for a nice cadence here. After about 40, ooh, I just heard a little pop in my shoulder. After about 40 circles, we're going to switch and we're going to go the other way with our palms facing up. Palms are up this way, fingers are nice and tight, elbows are locked out straight, and let's go backwards. 40 arm circles going backwards, keeping your stomach relaxed. If done properly, if you maintain that golfer's grip position, if you keep your elbows locked out straight, and if you keep those shoulder blades pinned together, an added benefit of standing arm circles is that it will actually adjust your thoracic back. That upper portion of your back will extend and start to straighten out. Now, I want you to reassess. So let's stand up. I want you to start with that balance test. Close your eyes and pay attention to the weight distribution in your feet. And what do you feel here? If you did those exercises correctly, you will feel an improvement in your balance. You'll actually feel more balanced from left to right. It's pretty incredible the role that your shoulder girdle plays when it comes to the weight distribution and the balance of your entire body. So you should notice some improvement there in your balance. Now, go ahead and have a look in the mirror. Let's check out those hands. Let's see if there's any improvement there in the positioning of your hands and your shoulders. I will see you again in a week, and we're going to focus on week 4 on lower extremity. So we're going to have a look at the knees, the ankles, and the feet. I'll see you in a week. Have fun.